Hey all, and welcome back. Today I have a review for you of Newage Toys number 27, Commander David. Now this is the Youth Edition, but also known as the Year of the Tiger Edition. If you look at the packaging here, it's a little bit reminiscent of the Year of the Horse Masterpiece Optimus Prime we'd gotten. I had wanted this figure for a little bit, but everyone was sold out, and I was actually able to find it from bombusbee.net. I got it for a fair price. This is how they packed it. There was good tracking. So far, it went pretty well with them, so they're worth checking out. But with that said, in the package, we have our little Optimus Prime, set of instructions, and then some accessories, which I would have liked that these came in a Ziploc bag, but this is supposed to be the budget version. The reason is budget is because, one, it doesn't come with the trailer and all the other accessories. It lacks die cast and additional paint on the red. I didn't really need that because I had an idea, but the idea might not pan out. But anyway, this is the packaging. And to talk about the scale of this is a Legend scale Optimus Prime. Now, Legends has sort of changed a bit over the years. This is our current Legend scale class, which is now called Core Class. And of course, the Dr. Wu that I had done is a micro class, considerably smaller. One of the reasons I opted for the version without the trailer is because I have the THS Optimus Prime, which, as you can see here, as it barely holds itself together, is an abomination of a truck mode. This is probably the last time I will ever see a truck mode unless there's another review that comes along I need to compare it to. It's just not good. I love the robot mode, but yeah, the truck mode's not good. As you can see here though, this truck mode is pretty nice. What I'd hoped for, and I'd actually got some help from SD McLeod on the TFW forums, is that maybe the trailer from it might have worked. But there's a little bit of a problem. One, the hitch design does not work. And even if you did remove this, which I think the way you would have to do that would be with a soldering iron or something like that. You'd have to remove that. But then even if that was gone, the clearance with the feet would be an issue. So you'd probably have to take some screws and remove this entire middle section. Now, I wouldn't use this trailer for anything else, just because I have no reason to transform THS into a truck mode, but this could be an option if, one, you're willing to customize it. That said, it probably makes more sense to buy the version that comes with the trailer than try to modify what can be sometimes an expensive toy. Now, I did consider getting the EX version, which is a toy deco version, and I still may get it, which would also give me another trailer, but I felt like THS sort of already is a toy deco version of the scale with its being blocky and all that. But going back to the truck mode here, overall, if we just cover up the back, it does look good. I think the front looks good. There's a little bit of a panel line there. You can push it in and it seems to fit flush enough. Yeah, I mean, it looks like the G1 cab. I think the truck mode is really good. We even have doors here that we can open up, which I think is pretty cool. We could probably take some Diaclone figures and put them here and have them like they're getting in. Though, if you look inside, you're not going to really have a lot of luck sitting them in there. The only thing that sort of stands out is the back section. And, I mean, you see Prime's crotch there, and you see his feet in the back here. That's pretty typical of the Masterpiece figures because there's only so much places you can put this stuff. And it's not terrible, especially once you have the trailer on it. I think that would hide most of it. But it would have been nice if somehow the feet could have, gone away. That's really the only part that really stands out. But we have the little fifth wheel. We have the smokestacks. They're painted nice silver. The translucent windows. I mean, even the windshield wipers are painted. So even being the budget version, the price is really fair on this. I think it really comes pretty well packed for being a truck mode. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this guy transformed and see if he's worthy of our collection. And here he is fully transformed, and he's pretty magnificent. I mean, this is a really great looking Prime, especially considering the size. I'll say this, the transformation is a lot more complicated than I expected. There's a lot of panels and a lot of shifting and a lot of little things. And rather than make you guys sit through me trying to fiddle with him and transform him, I just wanted to point out a couple things on the instructions. The instructions are fairly good, but a couple things could possibly be clear. Like one, this shoulder section here, this entire portion needs to rotate first. And that was something I didn't think was very clear in the instructions. Other than that, there's a piece here that snaps in that's actually a little bit difficult to push in. And I do believe on the other version, it's die cast, which makes it more likely easier to depress. Other than that, nothing really stood out as being overly complicated or difficult, but I think those two things are definitely something to point out, just take note of. But yeah, look at this guy. This guy is, I'm pretty happy with this. And I think I'm happy that I didn't get the painted version after having seen what the transformation process, because even though the paint might look nice, there's a lot of things that move around. And I think if you want to transform one a lot, this is the one to get, because you will avoid any scuffings like that. And if you want one that you transform once and you just put on display, then maybe the painted version. But let's go ahead and take this guy here. And so we have him with core class, which of course he's bigger, looks much better. And then the THS version, which for me is definitely an EX version. He's really got the toy look going for him. Sadly, I don't think the things will be fully compatible. I actually tried the backpack, but the smokestacks get in the way. I think if you really mess with it, you might be able to get the backpack to fit on from THS. But there you've got that. And for fun, you know, the new GoBot line, he scales pretty well with them if you want to have a 1-to-1 scale of GoBots rather than being smaller than the MPs or even the Voyagers. And there is Hasbro's rendition of a fairly tune-accurate Optimus Prime. And you can see, proportionally, they nailed an awful lot of the pieces. Difference being, the smaller version is more articulate, and it transforms. And speaking of articulation, we have tons of it. We've got wrist rotation, we've got elbow joint, we have a secondary joint in here, so we would have a double elbow joint if you turn everything just the right way. You've got the swivel, you've got a butterfly shoulder, where it comes up like so, lets you get a nice extension, full rotation. Actually, can't remember if that is called a butterfly or not. Anyway, head can look up, full rotation on a ball joint, waist rotation, you got a full waist bend. Then you've got lots of movement. The skirts move out of the way so that you can do all sorts. Look at that hip in there. You can get any kind of hip movement, and the skirt and all that stuff moves out of the way. And then you've got the knee joint, double knee joint. And then lots of articulation at the feet. You've got good tilt in there. All those ways. Toes independently, heel independently. So that lends you for a lot of posing with this guy. Actually, I think as far as the heel goes, the heel doesn't go back any further, but it does go down. And that's mostly for transformation. But yeah, this thing is awesome. I think this is a great buy. Now, on top of that, we do have, this opens up and we have a matrix we can take out, but I don't want to knock them out because I don't want to fall out, but it's pretty detailed. And I think if you don't display with the trailer, this is definitely the one to get, because I think it's just a better buy. Now for accessories, we have pointing fingers, you know, for when you want Prime to point at things. These I'm going to probably leave in the box. We've got his Energon axe, which looks pretty good. We have his rifle, some nice silver paint on there. Everything's pretty basic, but it does the job. And then we have another set of hands that are just some open hands for some dramatic poses. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that he can hold a gun with one hand and you can swap that out and have something a little bit more dynamic. that looks less toy-like. Because so often we have these action figures with these peg hole hands, and it's not terrible, but it is a little distracting from giving that sort of feeling of life. But yeah, I mean, you can shift his weight. He's got some good contrapposto, very dynamic, lots of energy. I mean, look at that. Just some simple movements, and he looks awesome. And another important feature is below here, we have a port that a Figma stand can hold into, so you can set them up on displays for all kinds of cool action poses. Let's be fair with this toy and find anything that would be a complaint. And I think one thing that people have pointed out that they've been unhappy with is this double chest. And yes, from the top view, it does stand out. I don't think it's terrible, especially since for the most part the colors blend, and you're not always looking at it from the top. I mean, his head looks small from the top, but I think it's fine. I do think it would be kind of cool if this was a different version where they relied on the truck's chest, because it has a secondary chest to act as the toon chest or the robot chest, and then another one behind it, which is for the truck. And as I'm pointing out, you probably can see it even more because you have the extra set of headlights and all that. Other than that, I think that's my major gripe. I think maybe another set of hands, which is just me being picky. I think it would be cool to have just some extra display options. I'm not sure what kind of hands I would want. Maybe just a closed fist with no peg hole might be something kind of cool. You do have the fifth wheel in here, but it doesn't really stand out because the color blends in. The feet have a decent bit of separation here, but from the outside, it all seems pretty one piece. I think it works. But like I said, I think this is an awesome Prime. I had a pretty good experience with this purchase. And like always, let us know in the comments below if this is worthy of your collection. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.